This week we're trying every trick in the book. From sweet nothings...
I thought you were 25.
He is quite sweet, isn't he?
To tough talking.
It's not for you to be providing accommodation for your friends.
If you want to carry on doing the gigs and what have you, then you can't live in a place like this.
But despite our best efforts, our house hunters are not on the same page.
A bit noisy. It may be, for me, a little bit boring.
I just wouldn't live here, I think, if it was £100,000.
And for once, we're not the only ones losing the plot.
Commute to work,
But I haven't gone completely bonkers.
tube pass,
There's no reason behind it.
smelly people on the underground.
You are asking the world, Matt, let me tell you.
This week we've got it all to do for two sets of house hunters looking in one of the most competitive property markets in the world.
North London, where bargains are bought in the blink of an eye, and the key to success is having your wits about you.
But even so, budgets meet expectations, then everybody can be happy.
And how often does that happen?
Louise Birrell and Matt Fairley are looking for their first home together. So are Sarah Nagy and Stuart Fraser. They're in love with North London.
They live there, they work there, and in a roundabout way it brought them together. They met at a gig a few years back and became firm friends. But then Stuart moved far, far away.
We used to hang out every weekend, really.
Stuart moved away to South London.
Yeah, I went to South London, and it was so far away I just didn't hang out with a lot of friends that live in North London.
And when he moved back up here, we realised we'd missed each other a lot more than was normal for just friends, and it kind of went from there.
Changed over a summer.
Currently, Home is a rented three-bedroom flat in Finsbury Park, which they share with Ziggy Stardust and Jarvis Cocker, two cool cats in need of rock star treatment.
Ziggy and Jarvis, I think they're getting bored of this flat.
In our dream house, we'd love to have a garden for them, but in reality, it could be a patio or a terrace or even...
Just a cat flap to get them outside.
Sarah's just turned 30, so they feel now's the time to settle down and buy a flat of their own. But they're already living their dream lifestyle, so they want to stay right where they are, able to walk to work in about 50 minutes and to the local bars to meet friends in under 5.
Biggest priority for us is the location.
It's one thing that we're not prepared to compromise on. Everything else, maybe. Location is a big deal to us.
Sarah and Stuart want to stay near their friends in Finsbury Park, but would also go up to Crouch End or down to Islington. They've been looking for 5 months, and the search hasn't been fruitful.
They've already been forced to raise their budget from £190,000 to £230,000. That means every penny of their life savings is going on their new home, and they're already planning their new life. Tell me about the future and how you see things panning out over the next 3-5 years. Are you thinking of a family? Is that something that you've talked about?
Yeah, we've talked about it. It's there's no point in hiding and not talking about those kind of situations. So
Especially when you're buying a house.
yeah, especially when you're buying a flat.
Would you say the 230 is the max?
Yeah, that is more or less a bit more money.
If we found the perfect place, we'd go away and speak about
Yeah,
maybe
we consider
pushing it a bit more.
Okay. I'm sure we can find you the perfect place, but whether it'll then be in the perfect spot or not, I don't know. Otherwise, we could find the perfect spot. That might not be the perfect place. What I'm sensing from you guys is the location is the most important.
We think that at the moment. We'll have to see when we start looking.
Yes, we will see, won't we? Good luck, Phil.
With a budget of 230 grand, Sarah and Stuart are after a 2-bedroom flat, access to outside space for the cats, and location is absolutely critical. They've set their hearts on staying near friends and within walking distance of work. Have these people ever heard of the Tube?
Over in South London, my couple also feel it's time to buy their first home. Louise and Matt have been together for 4 years, but they have a problem. The problem is, Louise works in events management in London and Matt works as a chartered surveyor in Lincolnshire. And in fact, they have rarely lived in the same place.
I was in Scotland and he was in London, and then I moved to London and Matt moved to Surrey, and then decided that wasn't far enough and then moved to Stamford. We're jumping in with both feet, going from never living together to actually owning a property together. So don't do anything by halves. space.
You're not joking.
Matt and Louise only get to be together at the weekend, usually at Louise's house share in Balham, where Matt has his own set of drawers. Trouble is, the South London locations making their time together even shorter.
Friday night traffic is just awful. There's that moment where Louise will phone me and I'll say, I'm just north of the river, I'm about to cross the bridge, and I'll be heading south. And then she'll phone me half an hour later and go, how far have you gone? And it will be half a mile.
It'd be nice to have our weekends back, wouldn't it? Really?
Yeah.
By moving north of the river, Matt should be able to cut his journey by at least an hour. For over a year, their precious time together has been spent looking for a property, but they still haven't even been able to settle on an area, never mind a house.
There's nothing particularly drawing us to one specific spot because we've got family or we went to school there.
For you, it has to be North London, but there's lots of different areas. It's not that we have to be in one particular area of North London, so it is a bit like a needle in a haystack.
Too true. Having a wide search area may seem to give you more options, but focusing on where you want to be is an important first step to getting the right property.
Matt and Louise have been saving for 8 years and have got a healthy sounding budget of 380 grand. But for that, they expect a lot. Be nice to them, Kirstie.
I'll try, but I'm not sure there's going to be any way to soften the blow.
I know quite a lot about what you guys are looking for, and I'm thinking, how can I help?
You just show us the way. I think this is where we've been going wrong. I think what we want doesn't exist.
I think when we listed things, we both came up with location and transport links are the top ones. Our preference would be 2 bedrooms. Our compromise is going to be the outside space.
All the stuff about location, I'm with you. But to be frank, Matt, I'm not sure that outside space is enough of a compromise.
Okay.
I think we can draw in outside space and see where that gets us. But I think we may need to draw in the second bedroom as well.
So we're looking for a 1-bedroom.
With no outside space.
Oh, thank you.
Definitely no punches pulled there, Kirstie.
The only thing that's given us a direction as to where to buy in London has been my commute out.
Right. This is the M25.
Yes.
And basically you need to easily access this sort of...
Exactly where your 2 fingers are, yeah. Either the M11 or the M1 to get out.
Yeah.
So I could come out of Chiswick very easily, or
very
I could
easily,
come out of North East London.
Yeah.
It seems shocking that even with a budget of £380,000, Matt and Louise will struggle to find a 2-bedroom flat with entertaining space, outside space and curb appeal in North London, or anywhere with an upmarket, villagey feel and a fast route out to the north of London.
You're in Clover this week.
I am not in Clover.
You are.
No, I am not.
You are, absolutely.
No, I'm not. I'm sorry. I have had to manage their expectations. I went in there and I cut them down. I said, it's only 1 bedroom and you can forget outside space.
It's possible to find them the 2 beds. I've got to find 2 beds with 150 grand less.
Where?
Round here.
Don't be dumb.
Well, they don't want villagey like your guys do, but
225?
230.
Round here?
Yeah, I mean, it's possible.
2 bedrooms?
But it's not in the pretty streets like this. But it's above commercial and things.
Telling me above commercial. I should think it's above the funeral directors for that money.
Well, there you go. That's what I'm working with.
OK. So maybe you've got it a wee bit harder than me this week, but I swear in this market my search is not so easy either.
With Sarah and Stuart determined to stay within their usual stomping ground.
And Matt and Louise also convinced North London is the place for them, this part of the capital has cast a spell over our house hunters, and no wonder.
It's fun, it's easy to get into the city from here.
There's lots of bars and cafes and restaurants. There's so much to do, people are friendly, it's great. It's expensive, but it's worth it actually around here. There's a lot of nice leafy areas.
Whatever is happening in property markets elsewhere in the country, North London is experiencing a bit of a boom. 7 out of 10 of the most expensive London boroughs are north of the river.
In Islington, Sarah and Stuart's top area, the average selling price for flats is £389,000. That's almost 2.5 times the UK national average.
And even at these prices, competition is so fierce that agents are leaflet dropping individual streets, and it's common for good flats to be sold before the sale board even goes up.
Despite all that, we've managed to find properties which Sarah and Stuart can afford in the areas they like. They may not be the dream first home they had in mind, but they are the very best that are on the market. And That really worries me because I'm not sure how prepared they are for how tough this one's going to be. They want it all, and I don't blame them for that in the slightest. But the harsh reality of it is that there isn't a first-time buyer in the whole of London who ends up getting it all, which means it's going to be a bumpy ride.
We're kicking off in Archway, one of Sarah and Stuart's favourite locations. It's near their friends, they could both walk to work in under 45 minutes, and if they ever did use public transport, it's close to the tube.
Well, I haven't gone completely bonkers, but I wanted to start you with this flat up here. So, absolutely bang on in terms of area.
Area's good, yeah.
Yeah.
Style of property, do you like that?
It's lovely.
Definitely.
And this is a good reflection of what your budget buys you right here. It's a beautiful flat. It's just pretty small.
Okay.
This flat does tick a lot of boxes on Sarah and Stuart's wish list, but size isn't going to be one of them.
Renting can be very spoiling, so when it comes to buying, most people have to compromise on either space or location. This time, it's definitely space. At 378 square feet, this flat is about half the size of the one they live in.
It's only one bedroom, but it does have a roof terrace for the cats. And though it's a whisker over their budget at $235, I'm confident we could get it for the right price.
That's not a bad size, actually.
It feels nice and light and airy, but it does feel small.
Yeah, we're definitely buying the location. To give you a sense of other value for money, there's 3 flats in the building. The one beneath is a 3-bed flat, and that's on at just under $480,000.
Right.
Well,
I really want these two to understand the task they've set themselves. This flat is only an option for the short term. Is that enough? Now, I haven't completely forgotten about your cats. Because although the bedroom is small, there is a south-facing terrace. So the cats would be happy, but would you?
it's small for what we were intending on going for.
It's a single person's flat. If we were 25 and 28, it would be
I thought you were
perfect.
25.
I'm not sure even flattery is going to help you here, Phil.
This week, I'm helping Sarah and Stuart, who have 230 grand to spend on their first home. But so far, the reality isn't matching up to the dream.
Meanwhile, I'm searching with Matt and Louise, who have a similar wish list, but an extra 150 grand, which makes my search easier, but not a lot.
Our North London locals, Sarah and Stuart, are looking for a long-term home, and the first flat I showed them was too small, so I'm going to have to go bigger to get better.
Matt and Louise live in South London, but only see each other at weekends, as Matt works Monday to Friday in Lincolnshire.
Moving to North London should shorten his commute and give them more time together.
But even with their budget of £380,000, it's difficult to find them what they want in some of their favourite areas. They've set their sights on the nicer, pricier parts of North London, such as West Hampstead and Belsize Park. But after a lot of hard work, hey presto, we found them a property in their #1 area, West Hampstead.
That's magic.
West Hampstead is in a leafy part of northwest London and has the villagey feel Matt and Louise are after, with all the shops, bars and restaurants they could hope for on their doorstep.
It's great for Louise's commute into the city and is also easy for Matt to get out of London. He could be on the M1 heading out of town in under 10 minutes.
I think I'm onto a winner here, and after his disappointing first viewing with Sarah and Stuart, Phil's come along to see how it's done.
So, how's this for a starter location?
It looks good. It sounds good. A nice location up to the town.
Yeah.
And it's a nice quiet street.
It's a lovely quiet street.
This Victorian conversion has a decent-sized kitchen, sitting room and garden. The compromise here is that there's only one bedroom. It's on the market at 375 grand, which is 5 grand under their maximum budget, and I think curb appeal could swing it.
So, what we've got here is a separate sitting room and kitchen. It's a 1-bed flat,
OK.
but it does have a garden.
Oh.
Jolly good.
What we have here is a real cook's kitchen. A big... Oh, your face lit up, Louise.
Do you think it's big enough for you now?
Yes and no. I mean, the kitchen's lovely. The kitchen's a really good size. My only concern is if we do have friends to stay, there's not a lot of space for thinking like a sofa bed or...
Well, it's not for you to be providing accommodation for your friends. You're not a B&B. You've got so many priorities which have got to come higher in your day-to-day life.
Hearing you say it, it sounds very obvious, but it's actually just having heard it said, you know, why are we putting our friends above ourselves?
This flat works for them now, but with only one bedroom, I'm worried they may soon outgrow it.
I think it's an absolutely lovely flat, but I also can't help thinking it would be nice to see you buy a two-bed flat now on perhaps not such a pretty street.
We're willing to compromise on the number of bedrooms or the outside space, but I think that curb appeal, the pretty street, it's easier to sell when we come to sell, and it attracts us, unfortunately.
Curb appeal is one thing, but they are going to be living in the flat they buy. And Matt will only be here 2 days out of 7. So does that mean that what Louise thinks matters more?
When we came in, Matt did some of this on the wall and sort of... Are you worried that he might go over the top with the head stuff?
I think he's just anxious. I mean, obviously, we're putting a lot of money into this. I think I'm strong enough, and I think he does say that he thinks ultimately I will have the final say.
Ooh, does he?
Yes, he does.
OK, I like the idea of Matt bowing to your decision-making powers.
I'm sure you do, but I'm not certain this one's got either of them on their knees.
It's a bit square and boring. It could be made more interesting.
You could landscape it.
I could definitely landscape it.
I'm really struggling with the fact that your couple they've got quite a lot more money than mine, but they are talking about a relatively short-term flat, I think. My couple's spending $230 are trying to do the long-term thing. They're trying to build the 5-year plan, have the 2 bedrooms.
Matt and Louise have never lived together. They decided to buy a flat together. That's the first move. In today's market, more than ever, it is vital to plan for the future. But you have to walk before you can run. This could well be the right choice for Matt and Louise for now.
So, what do you think?
It's a good flat. I love the kitchen. I love the fact it's really nice and big.
It may be, for me, a little bit boring. I'm not asking the world, but it's just...
You are asking the world! You are asking the world, Matt, let me tell you!
You just think it misses the wow factor, is that what you're...
Well, I think it would tick all my boxes from a boring practical point of view.
I'm worried that wow factor clashes with about 3 of the other criteria, which is why I slightly overreacted and looked panicked when you said about wow factor, because I was like...
No, I think it's you are just opening my eyes to what the reality is.
So this is a maybe?
Yeah.
Yes, a very definite maybe.
A definite maybe. We like definite maybes.
I take it all back, Kirstie. Maybe you're not in clover after all.
I told you.
Location is everything for Sarah and Stuart, and for my next property, we've really come up trumps. It's bang in the middle of their search area, and it's larger and cheaper than Property 1.
Not the prettiest street, though.
It's not, but it has potential. I just hope they can see it.
Hornsey Road, I'm sure you're familiar with it.
Yeah.
And we're going to see a flat up the top there. So, yes, it is above a Chinese restaurant that's open at night. First thoughts?
It's
A bit
horrible.
noisy.
We kind of wanted to get off the dirty main road above a shop.
Because that's where you are now.
Yeah.
That's why we're moving, so yeah.
Has got the 2nd bedroom.
We've got 3 bedrooms at the moment, we still want to move.
Yeah, but you're renting, and that's the difficult bit.
When did that become a reason for moving?
It's the first time she's mentioned it. This 2-bedroom, 2nd-floor flat has the outside space they've asked for, and it's in their perfect area. But to get them all this, I've had to think outside the box. Sarah and Stuart want a long-term flat, and one way to get that might be to do some work in the short term. This flat is £20,000 under budget at 210, and with a bit of vision, it might just be the stepping stone they need.
OK, now, I see this as a flat with a plan. It's on the market at 210. I think you could get it for less than 190. Maybe if you get it for 185, something like that. Get in here, tart it up, and you can sell it on in 3 years' time and make some money on the way through.
I think the entrance is the horrible part. But I can see that you can turn this into something pretty impressive.
This sort of plan to get ahead of the market is only possible because of the high demand for these flats in North London. It's not necessarily going to work in most parts of the country.
And by the look on Sarah's face, it's not going to work here.
I've actually seen this one before.
Have you?
On the internet. I discounted it because I thought it was hideous, and I still think it's hideous. I'm sorry, but I do. I just wouldn't live here, I think, if it was £100,000.
This flat could be a way of getting them what they want, where they want to be in a few years' time. But Sarah's very clearly having none of it.
The size is decent. You could spend a lot of time and care and make the inside work, but I just don't want to live here.
This is really tough, but I just want them to accept that they can't afford what they want here and to move somewhere else and buy it somewhere that is suitable. Because they can't buy something suitable here. That's the simple fact of the matter is. It's gone, the market's moved on.
We like the outside bit, we like the inside bit, we just don't like the entrance bit and where it is, really. I reckon we need to go away and sit down and try and think exactly where we want.
Yeah, how far we can push the money to get what we want.
Yeah.
Because this isn't it.
No, I can see that.
Sarah and Stuart hope to start a family in a few years, and there's just no prospect of finding something that fits that plan in their current location on their current budget. The harsh realities of the market are finally hitting home. And if there's no more money in the pot, it's going to have to be the area that shifts. The one thing they said they wouldn't compromise on.
My search for a two-bedroom property for Matt and Louise has brought us to Crouch End. They've looked here before and liked its bohemian hustle and bustle. Matt's commute would be easy from here, but in the absence of a tube line, they thought Louise would struggle, so they rejected it. But I think we found a property that could make them look at it with fresh eyes.
I love Crouch End. We did love it, but it was just the transport.
7 minutes walk from here is Hornsey train station, which takes you directly into central London.
If it is something that is so accessible to get to and from work and central London, then definitely possibility.
Sounds promising. Well done, Kirstie.
By coming to this part of Crouch End, we've found them a two-bedroom flat that has almost everything they've asked for, including the wow factor. It's on the market for just shy of £390,000. That's 10 grand over budget, but the agent has hinted a deal could be done.
You've got a really nice-sized sitting room.
It's a lovely room.
Yeah,
It's
nice high
nice,
ceilings,
again.
nice bay window.
I love the stained glass.
The kitchen is smaller than in Property 1, but if they wanted to create more space, they could extend out into the good-sized garden.
You can see how far next door have extended their conservatory.
Okay, that's got potential.
If you are happy to stay here. What are you thinking, Louise?
I like it. I really like it. It's the separately spaces. When you come in, it's a bit like a TARDIS. You come through and there's so much more space at the back.
The only thing that's counting against it is the curb appeal side of it.
Yeah.
The street's slightly shabby, but in that case, it can only go one way.
Yeah,
Up,
that
I
is
hope.
true. Up. Oh, no, God, yes, yeah. Can only go one way. The thing about it is that first flat didn't have any wow factor, super
Yes.
cute street. This, much more wow factor when you come in and the big garden and the space, but a bit of scruffy street.
This could be a great flat for Matt and Louise, and while it's not quite future-proof, they could live here happily for the next 5 years. Surely they won't let the lack of curb appeal put them off such a strong contender.
So, 2 flats, a definite maybe this morning, but has this flat knocked the other one into the long grass?
I don't think completely. I think this definitely, it's completely different, isn't it? Because, I mean, it's brought us back to Crouch End, which is an area I've always really liked.
It is cheaper. We're getting a big two-bedroom property here with a garden and room to grow.
I think the answer is you've got a lot to think about. Don't have a sleepless night because you will need your wits about you tomorrow.
Oh, Kirstie, they're bound to have a sleepless night now.
House hunting in the capital is not for the faint-hearted. Apart from anything else, 500 yards in the wrong direction could cost you 100 grand.
With tight budgets and long wish lists, there's only one word that springs to mind, and it's a house finder's favourite: compromise.
It's proving easier said than done. Matt and Louise are looking for a flat in North London. We've shown them 2 good contenders, but we've still got to find the knockout property.
Sarah and Stuart have been looking for 5 months for a flat for themselves, Kat, Ziggy and Jarvis, and the family they hope to have one day.
They want to continue their current lifestyle for now by staying close to where they live in Finsbury Park.
Finding the long-term flat they want in budget has been close to impossible due to the competitive North London market. The last flat I showed them was a bit of a wake-up call. So I've taken a huge gamble and stretched the area further out to Turnpike Lane. This is the one thing Sarah and Stuart said they wouldn't compromise on, but we're still in North London, only 2 tube stops away from where they currently live. And I just hope that they can see past the postcode at what their budget can get them here. Welcome to Turnpike Lane. Immediate thoughts of standing on this street?
It's quite far out, discounted it. It's in the middle of 3 areas we least wanted to live in, but we're keeping an open mind.
Yeah.
Okay. Fine. That's all we can hope for. Come on.
After you two. I think we're lucky Sarah is too polite to say what she's really thinking. I hope the inside of the flat makes up for the area, because she's not loving it.
It does, honestly. This one has it all and more. 2 bedrooms, 2 bathrooms, and a large garden for the cats. It's on at £245,000, which is 15 over their 230 budget, but we do know the vendor's open to negotiation. I said when we met that in order to find good flats in this market, you need an element of good luck. And we're in the right place at the right time here, because this has only just come on the market. We are the first people to see it. Future-proofs, family plans, the cats, people coming to stay.
I'm quite impressed inside, actually.
Yeah.
Wasn't expecting
big,
this much space.
You'd have to be impressed. I mean, this is the whole purpose of coming here, is that whatever I show you needs to blow you away.
Yeah.
Do you think that you are prepared to make the move of a couple of tube stops in order to get the extra space? Or does being here make you just want to run back home and get a studio flat?
This is the nicest place that we've been inside so far. We haven't seen the rest yet.
Yeah.
And
so far with Phil, or so far full stop?
So far full stop.
Right. Well, you haven't seen the whole of it, so do you want to come with me, Sarah, and see the bedrooms?
Stuart, we'll check out the garden for the cats.
There we are. Now, this is the master bedroom.
It's huge.
It's huge. I mean, you're standing there by a whopping cot. There's a double bed. There's a bedside table. You know, it's really big. You're quite a long way from your comfort zone, but it has got much more space and a flat, which, as you said, is the best of any you've seen. Do you think you can manage to be that far from your current life?
I don't know yet. I'd have to think about it.
I'll get one of these with a shed in it, close into town.
Definitely not in London.
We're still in London. We've still got a tube stop.
Yeah. Location's a bit further out.
I think you're doing the right thing. I really do encourage you to have the long-term view. However, once you have children, the gigs and clubs and pubs, it's just not a priority.
Yeah.
With space inside, the school's at the end of the road and a garden, they are a priority. If you want to carry on doing the gigs and what have you, then you can't live in a place like this.
I think you can still do that if you're a bit further out. It's just
exactly.
More expensive taxis if you want to get home quicker.
Stuart can see that with a few tweaks to their lifestyle, this flat will work for them, now and in the future. But Sarah still has some doubts.
Can't walk to all our friends' houses and walk home anymore. Can't walk 5 minutes up the road to the pub. It means tube pass, commute to work, smelly people on the underground. I want to pick it up, put it into Islington.
If I had a pound for every time I heard that.
Had a chance to chat?
Yeah.
I'm not expecting any great conclusions or decisions at this moment, but
no,
how you
it's
feeling?
all positive, actually.
Yeah.
You know, the location isn't right for us, but
everything else
is perfect. Yeah.
There's a lot to think about.
I hope my gamble has paid off. They can have all they want here, but it's going to be hard to let go of their dream of living closer to town.
You've inspired me to take a chance with Matt and Louise. They've been searching for over a year without success. The most important location consideration for them is that Matt's weekly commute from London to Lincolnshire should be as quick as possible. After looking at 2 properties in North London, I'm shaking things up a bit and moving the search to another area they said they'd consider, Chiswick.
You're being brave. I only moved area by a couple of tube stops. That's a different part of London altogether.
But this area really works for Matt. With the M4 so close, he could be heading out of London in 5 minutes. And I've had a bit of luck. we've managed to find them the biggest property yet, with curb appeal and wow factor.
We've seen a big flat in a scruffy area. We've seen a small flat in a really nice area.
Yeah.
This flat is the one that doesn't have any outside space.
OK. Chiswick's got lots of green space. We're on a nice, quiet street.
And we can't have everything.
No, we can't.
No.
This split-level Victorian conversion does have a lot, though. 2 double bedrooms, a mezzanine kitchen, a massive sitting room, and it's bang on budget at £379,950, having been recently reduced from £400,000. It's generating a lot of interest.
So, this is the front room.
Yeah, the high ceilings are great. There's a real good feeling of space with that up to that mezzanine floor where the kitchen and dining room
Very
are.
nice and open, which
Yeah.
is nice. You don't feel cramped at all.
Yes.
Which is really good.
That's a good start, and they've not even seen the best bit yet.
Here we are, on top of the world.
OK. And a whole other aspect to the property.
Yeah.
Oh, it's really lovely having the kitchen and the dining overlooking.
Yes. Really nice.
Really nice.
It's all here, it's all working, it all looks good.
Yeah.
I think Matt and Louise have fallen for this place, and who could blame them?
Matt is the most eagle-eyed house hunter I've ever had. What I hope is that if there are any problems, he will just forge through them and realise that in the great scheme of things, they're not that big a deal.
Do you think the fitted wardrobe would come out if you wanted it to?
It looks like it's falling apart along the top anyway.
Something for a Sunday for you.
Something to keep
If
you
you
out
don't
of
have a
trouble.
garden to keep you entertained, you can...
This flat is in move-in condition, but there are enough little jobs to keep Matt busy at the weekends.
What do you think?
The bedrooms are both great sizes, both decent doubles.
It's got a really good feel, this flat, a really warm feel.
This morning you had a choice between 2 properties which were very different. Now a third property has been injected into the proceedings. Has this crystallised anything?
This morning I was toying up with, was it area or was it the property? And I couldn't decide, whereas now we've got this one where we almost have both.
In my mind, there is a clear leader. It just requires a bit of thought over a cup of coffee as to see
Some
how,
caffeine-induced fault, I think.
if there's a
Do
clear
you want
leader.
to go for a cup of coffee and sit down and talk it all through and make lists and...
Yes.
A coffee shop in Chiswick? I don't think you'll need to go far. Over in North London, I'm showing Sarah and Stuart my final property. The Turnpike Lane flat got them thinking, but they're not convinced about moving the search area. So we're back in the middle of where they want to be, in Holloway.
We've got a cracking flat to show you. And we are less than half an hour's walk from work, so right back in the heartland.
It is extremely close to work. We're still close to our friends, close to the shops.
And we're going up there, top floor corner. Can't see further than that.
This former local authority flat has 2 bedrooms, an outside balcony for the cats, and it's decorated to a very high standard.
The market in North London is so competitive, and former local authority flats like this are so spacious that this kind of property isn't the bargain you might imagine. It's the most expensive flat we've seen at just under £250,000. It's £20,000 over budget. But if Sarah and Stuart want to stretch their resources and buy it, I'm pretty sure we can get it for less than that.
Entertaining kitchen, straight into the living room. Got 2 double bedrooms. Got stunned silence from that half of the room.
It's a good sized flat,
Got
actually.
smiles.
It's lovely.
Interestingly, the current person who lives here bought this on his own, now in a relationship, and he's moving to Turnpike Lane to get more space.
Do we do that before or after?
Oh, no.
That's the decision they have to make. Move a bit further out and get as big a property as they can afford now, or buy somewhere for their current lives and hope they can afford to make the move in a few years' time.
I like it.
I really like
I
it.
bet you don't like the outside.
I really like the front room. I love the kitchen. It's the location we want, but I still have a problem paying £250,000 for an ex-council flat. No outside space. The thing is, we've seen the Turnpike Lane. Do we move out now? Or do we stay here and have to do it later anyway?
Could you see yourself living here?
Yeah.
And how are you feeling about Turnpike Lane now?
Exactly. Is that?
Really weighing up the lifestyle options it would give us, the changes. Turnpike Lane has a garden.
You've got this space, but we can't pop out pop out, meet up with people, just like that.
So it's down to location again, as I always knew it would be. Sarah and Stuart have a lot to think about, and I really have no idea which way they're going to go.
Back in Chiswick, and after a cup of coffee, Matt and Louise want to check out the local area. Chiswick High Road is 5 minutes from the flat with a vast array of shops, cafes and restaurants. It's got everything anyone could want.
So, this is Chiswick High Road. Pretty much has everything you need to sustain life. Just standing here, how does it strike you?
Everything you could really need, isn't it?
Lots of pubs and restaurants.
And you've got easy transport straight into the centre of town.
Yeah.
The area's got the thumbs up, so it's back to have another look at the flat. Its recently reduced price has generated a lot of interest, and there were other viewings scheduled later today, so the pressure's on.
I like this room every time I walk into it.
Yeah, I like it more and more every time No, it's got a good feel about it.
There's nothing else that's really worrying about it. It's all simple, it's all easy.
Did you ever think you'd be saying that?
No, never ever did I think I would be saying that about a house we looked at.
I need you to be sure, because strategically, this is not necessarily an easy purchase. Things are moving quite fast.
They were searching for a year, now we find them a flat they love. But can we secure it?
This is a tricky one. This is where things actually start to get sticky.
What are you thinking?
I'm thinking it's great, which is a problem because it means we now have to go on to sort of the next stage of this whole buying process and actually
Yeah, I always
do
thought the
something
looking
about
was
it.
going to be hard enough, but it's just getting slightly scarily real now.
They're right to be worried. We're not the only ones after this hot property, and that means if they do want to buy it, we're going to have a fight on our hands. This week, it's all about couples taking the big step of getting their first home together. Matt and Louise have been looking for over a year, but have now fallen in love with this 2-bedroom flat in Chiswick.
Sarah and Stuart want to live in North London near their friends with an easy walk to work. But none of the flats we found there within budget were suitable, so I took a gamble and brought them up to Turnpike Lane. It seems like it's paid off, as that's the flat they want to come back and see today. The area was the unknown bit, wasn't it?
Yeah, we came back here last night, had a look around.
And then we phoned all of our friends and family and asked their opinions, and they said, you know, they would come and visit. It's still got the tubes, still got the buses.
When we arrived here and you said, with a very blank expression, but we're going to keep an open mind, Phil, I thought, yeah, no way.
I thought, no way.
So I am really, really pleased that you've opted to come back and have a second look. So hope you still like it.
So do I, actually.
I'm so pleased they've got over their postcode pickiness.
It's still just as nice as yesterday. Still good space.
It's perfectly nice and swish and livable for a year or two, but we'd want this oak floor coming through in here.
I've spoken to one of my best friends who's a kitchen fitter, so he'll be doing that for us.
OK. You got it all worked out today.
He volunteered himself, so...
Yeah.
They really do love this place, and the garden will be great for Kat, Jarvis and Ziggy. But there is something we found out that Sarah and Stuart need to know.
Just one thing to mention about the extension here. It's got planning permission, had planning permission, no problem at all. But it turns out, from research at the planning department, it's never actually been signed off. So the vendor will need to arrange for somebody from planning department to come along, put a tick in the box to say that they're satisfied that that complies with its original planning permission.
It is the vendor's responsibility to get the paperwork sorted, but if you find yourself in a similar situation, you should also be across it and make sure your solicitor is aware of what's going on.
So have you seen enough? Have you got any other questions for me?
No, we're
happy.
We're very happy with what we've seen.
Cool.
It's all positive.
OK. Don't look so worried. Don't look so worried.
Do I look worried?
Yes, you look really worried. I know it's a big decision, but, you know, we're in a great spot. Happy.
Yeah, we're happy.
Yeah.
Sarah and Stuart's journey's not over yet, though. We have to get them this flat at the right price. We are the first people to see it, so in the fast-moving North London market, that gives us a fighting chance.
But let's talk about the flat itself. It's on the market at 245 grand. Nobody else has seen it yet. So if you wanted to go for it, now is the time to make a call.
Yeah, we're going for it.
Yeah.
Right, cool. OK, well, let's talk tactics. It turns out that the vendor has actually already bought himself something else. So he's a very motivated seller. My suggestion is that we go in at 2:30. I'm not saying that we'll buy it at 2:30, but I think it's the right pitch to start with.
I agree completely.
Definitely.
Let's go for it.
Oh. Mark, hi there, it's Phil. I'm pleased to say that they do want to make you an offer. And the offer that they've asked me to put to you is for 230 grand. Thank you, Mark. I'll wait to hear on this number. Can't say further than that. He's going to ring the vendor straight away and come back to us.
Over in Chiswick, time is not on our side. There are other people lined up to see the flat this very evening. So instead of heading off for a coffee, Matt and Louise are going to make some decisions right here.
What do we know? That you want to buy this flat?
Yes.
Yes.
That 2 other people have put in offers which have both been turned down. We also know that this afternoon at 5 and 5:30, 2 more sets of people who've never seen this property before are coming to see it. I don't want to inject any more heat into the situation. I'd rather back off and view it from a distance.
I think it could add some more fuel to the fire if they have yet a third offer.
And I hate this not making an offer on something you really want thing, but I think it's the right thing to do.
I think it's wise. There's just too much at stake.
Yeah. Gives us time to think. 2 viewings tonight. If no one comes forward, it almost puts us in a stronger position.
Exactly.
Okay, sit tight.
Are we going to get Matt to smile just to plus?
It doesn't come naturally.
I think it's a smart move to see what comes of today's other viewings. By waiting overnight, Matt and Louise could be in a stronger position when they decide to put in an offer on this property.
Over in North London, things are moving swiftly.
Hi, Mark. How'd you get on? That was quick work. Fair enough. Mark, I'll come back to you. Thanks. We're being squeezed, absolutely fine. Bottom line, he said, is 240. I think he'd struggle to turn you down at 237.5. If you felt comfortable at that price.
Definitely. In my eyes, sorry.
So,
Can we go 237?
Yeah.
237?
Yeah.
237.
Mark, hi, it's Phil again. I've got an increase for you, but it is one that is, I wouldn't say it's reluctant because they absolutely love the flat, but it is as far as they can go, and it's at 237. Right. He was pleased. Get us a drink, someone.
2. Bring the bottle.
But before we can do anything of the sort, the answer's in.
What news? Yeah? Top man, we've got a deal. Cheers. Property is off the market and nobody else will see it. It's yours, 237. Bloody marvellous. Well done.
Thank you.
Well done. Terrific. What a journey.
Get those drinks in now, Phil. You've earned a cold one. The next day I spoke to Matt and Louise, who asked me to put in an offer on the Chiswick flat for £371,000, nearly 9 grand under the asking price. This was matched by another buyer, so Matt and Louise raised their offer to £376,000.
Once again, they were beaten by the other party, and at this point, Matt and Louise decided they weren't prepared to get into an auction, so they let the Chiswick flat go.
It's 3 months on, and Matt and Louise are still looking for their perfect home. But at least we got them to decide on an area.
Definitely set on Chiswick.
And there's a new contender in the mix.
We're currently having an offer considered, so fingers crossed.
It has a double bedroom, a single bedroom, and hopefully, if our offer is accepted, it's within budget.
We're thinking about decor and...
And where furniture would
You
go.
have to keep dragging me away from furniture shops, and he says we have to have the house first. And I'm like, yes, okay.
With a bit of luck, Matt and Louise should be soaking up that Chiswick village atmosphere in no time.
Up in north-east London, Sarah and Stuart are packing up in preparation for the move to Turnpike Lane. They expect to complete in a couple of weeks, and I just hope they're still feeling the love about the location.
I think Turnpike Lane is a good place.
Yeah. It's a lot nicer than we thought. Every time we've been back, it's been quiet and no music from any noisy neighbours.
It's very quiet.
Yeah,
you can hear birds singing, which is always good.
Yeah. Never thought we'd be really, really looking forward to living there, but we are.
And they think they've found the answer to keeping their social life intact.
We've already got a couple of friends moving in locally and try and convince other friends to move up there when they start to buy.
We are
extremely anxious to move in.
We are. We've got our boxes ready, we've got everything ready, we've ordered furniture.
Sofa, chair, dining table, new bed, new mattress, fridge, freezer, washing machine.
Sideboard.
Got a fair bit.
Outside space was a big issue for them, or should I say, for Ziggy Stardust and Jarvis Cocker.
We'll have everybody round to ask for barbecues and things all the time.
And the cats. The cats will be able to get out, and their life will change dramatically.
Yeah.
They'll be extremely happy.
Two happy couples set up with locations to suit their London lifestyles. These cool cats certainly got the cream.